Cancer, I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip, and I'm keeping my word. I promised I would get your part 2 of your eclipse season predictions read in this week, and we're kicking it off with a bang on July 1st. It is your season, so happy solar return, Cancer. I wish you lots of blessings in this coming year, and do look for you to be in the front of the line for receiving any new reading series that comes out during this cycle. I am going to be putting out a full moon reading series where I'll do predictions for each of the signs, just highlighting what's coming in over this, lunar cycle we're moving through, because it's a pretty dynamic one. I'll be putting those out next week, so you'll be at the forefront for those. But right now, we're just looking at where we last left off. Now, where were we? Okay, because last time that we dropped in for your eclipse season predictions read, there were some pressing matters you needed to attend to, and things were pretty stirred up and activated. So I imagine that you kind of moved through that tower. It felt like it was a tower moment. There were some things you needed to really deal with in the now, and so we weren't able to really get a full, complete picture for you. There was also a lot of blocking energy that was coming in around you, and you had some pressing matters to attend to. So we dealt with the urgency of the moment. We brought in the guidance that was needed for the urgency of the moment, and now we are going to look a little deeper and see, now that maybe some of that dust is settled, we're going to get a clearer view about what is coming in for you, what lies ahead. I do feel like you're starting to get kind of a lay of the land. I do think that there's going to be a lot of illumination coming in for you, and things are going to start moving forward in your new direction. I feel like you're heading in a new direction after a time of maybe, just trying to find your way through the dark, also trying to sort out some confusion. I think you've been doing a lot of healing work. There's been a lot coming up for you subconsciously. You've been integrating this subconscious material. You've been working on healing yourself. This is also your energy front and center. You're very much in your energy right now. I think your intuition is at an all-time high. There's a lot that you're integrating, and I feel like this has to do with really balancing the shadow and light within yourself. You're getting there, okay? You're getting to this place, and I think that this is part of what this eclipse season is really about for you. It's a very deep healing process for you of integration, where you're really taking some painful issues from your past and you're alchemizing the lessons that you can extract from those experiences to carry you forward in your life in empowering ways. And I do believe there's a lot of healing and renewal on offer for you. But right now you're kind of in this process where you're finally having a look at the stuff in the root cellar. It's all that stuff that you sort of, swept under the rug, pushed down, pushed aside. I'll get to that later. I'll look at that later. But it's really demanding your time, your care, and attention. And some of you might be entering into some kind of like therapeutic process. You might be getting some kind of counseling, or doing some kind of healing work. You might be devoting yourself to your spiritual practice, getting more in touch with this. I feel like there's a lot of self-reflection and really just diving into giving some care and attention to your inner world and integrating where you've been with where you want to go, so you can move forward very clearly, very cleanly, not encumbered by anything holding you back from the past, okay? I'm going to go ahead and just cut this deck a few times, and we'll just get a little bit more of the basis of the matter for you. Yes, I do feel there is something you really cut off. I felt, that's interesting. I said, I felt, I'm a Libra, and the Queen of Swords is associated with Libra. So you might have been dealing with a Libra. You might have been dealing with a relationship challenge as well. You might have been needing to cut something off. Maybe you had to speak your truth. Maybe very much like a Libra, you might have Libra strongly aspected in your chart. Very much like a Libra, you may have had to really balance things out. You may have had to look at both sides and really take your time to feel your way through the situation to determine what your position was, so you could have an opportunity to speak your truth. You might need to speak your truth to a Libra, or there's some kind of communication you need to have with a Libra. Just picking up this energy very strongly with the way it came in. I also feel like there's something that you are addressing here. Maybe you haven't addressed it in a long time. Maybe it's something from your past. This thing was cut off before. It was like done. It was dusted. It was buried. It sprung back to life. I don't know why I got that energy coming in, but it seems like there's some kind of karma to balance here as well. We are moving up to that changing of the nodes of destiny that comes in on July 18th. It also comes in with a new moon at that time that will be in Leo. Some of you may be born on the cusp between Cancer and Leo. So if so, this is going to be a really dynamic time for you. Do look for there to be a lot of closing of cycles that happen simultaneously just as you open up a brand new chapter in your life. So it's kind of an interesting juxtaposition for you, and you may feel like, you know, you need a little time to get your sea legs. That's what I feel like, a little steadying of yourself, because you're not really going to have a point of reference for where you're at this time. It's very much uncharted territory, and you're going to have to feel your way through it. And it's almost like so much of where you're heading now is about the journey. It's less about the destination. It's more like the cathartic experience of what takes you from there to where you will be in the future. And when we're speaking in terms of these eclipse season predictions, we really are looking at what's going to be playing out between now and October 14th of this year, because that's when everything kind of comes to a completion with this eclipse season, and you finally get to see what's what, you know, what you couldn't see before. And there's something that's being balanced out here. I do feel like you're in some kind of healing process. I believe it's connected to your past. With the Queen of Swords, it might be related to a past relationship. You definitely could be dealing with an air sign. We have Knight of Swords here. I think there's a strong desire to communicate. I think there's a desire also to take swift action. This could be in relation to an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Air is featuring strongly for you. I also feel like this is something that can't be held in any longer. It can't be held back any longer. Somebody is about to move forward with some kind of swift communication. They're issuing some kind of communication that really changes things for you. This communication may seem very sudden. It also could seem highly unexpected. You know, it takes you by surprise. In some cases, this is somebody revealing their feelings. They've held their feelings in for a long time. They can't hold their feelings in any longer. They feel like they need to express their feelings. There could also be a piece around this that's like time is of the essence. It's now or never. I got to do this now or I might miss my chance. Okay. And one more round of cutting this deck, and we'll see more on this basis. Yeah, and this could very well come in with those changing of the nodes of destiny, all right? July 18th, it pops off. Libra takes over the south node. Aries takes over the north node to symbolize the magician here. It's an initiation point. It's a new beginning. Again, this message coming forward because this can really symbolize renewal. It can symbolize sort of pressing the reset button. When we're looking at the magician, it can also be alchemy, like really transforming something. And I do feel like you've been in an active healing process. So I do feel there's something here that really weighed you down in the past, that you're transforming it into gold. You know, there's some kind of true wealth, true lasting wealth that comes out of this. And Ted just shook his head yes in affirmation. So this is the treasure. You know, what you're extracting from this experience is the treasure. It brings renewal in your life. I also feel it's bringing a significant new beginning for you in your life. You're very much in alignment with this energy right now. And right with that shifting of the nodes of destiny, I feel like you are stepping into your destiny. There's a brand new inception of a brand new chapter in your life occurring at that time. Leo season is really going to see this developing for you. And for some of you, it's a renewal in a connection. It's a renewal with somebody that you haven't been in contact with this person for a long time. Maybe it's been many years. Maybe this is somebody you used to have a big connection with in the past, but you sort of lost track of each other, or there was something that happened between you that caused a falling out, some kind of separation, and something's transforming in this situation. But we see with the magician here holding up the wand, that gives a clue about what's needed to get things moving in this situation. What's needed is action. Action may be coming from fire in relation to this, okay? So fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Again, this message coming through doubly. I'm really picking this up that if you are Cancer, Leo, Cusper, you're really being called to take action in this situation to transform, that maybe that you're being asked to step into this position of taking the initiative. Maybe it's your role in this situation in order to balance your karma, to take this initiative in this situation and bring about a transformation. I also see that those of you who have been doing any kind of magical workings to bring in some like healing, these are coming about in the affirmative. It looks like they'll be successful. You know, they're helping to bring some kind of balance, restore balance in a situation. So that looks good. All right. So let's just see, what are the predictions for eclipse season for the Cancer Collective? What are okay, she's coming out again. You're definitely dealing with an aerosonic energy. That's interesting. These cards like really sticking together. The way that that shuffle came out, that's happened a couple times with these cards today. So there's something interesting happening here. It's almost like, no, we don't need to sort through stuff a long time here. Okay, things are pretty clear at this point. We know what's what. We know what the story is. So let's see what we got here. We got that Queen of Swords came out again and is coming in with the Page of Pentacles. Well, with the Page of Pentacles, that's earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It's also the student. It's also about learning something. It's also about education. You know, it's an initial tangible step. Like, let's get something started here. So there might be somebody that is, it's interesting the way it's showing up. It's almost like this Queen of Swords is in the forefront and behind is this Page of Pentacles energy. I can see this in a couple ways. I could see this as being Libra representing justice. Maybe you are separated from somebody you share a child with. You could have an earth sign baby, a baby that has a strong earth sign energy in the chart, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I also feel like maybe you're needing some kind of support, some kind of child support, financial support, perhaps for education in some cases. Perhaps your child's a little older. They need some coverage for their education. Maybe you're trying to set up some kind of like nest egg for your child so that they can have, you know, college paid for when they get older. You might be wanting to set up like some kind of college fund, or perhaps you're wanting them to be able to go to a special school. You don't like the current format of education. You want your child to be able to have maybe a more creative kind of environment, like a Montessori school type of environment. I could also see this being like daycare, but I feel like there's some kind of finances and needing more support in relation to a child for those who are dealing with an ex where you share a child with each other. This Libra significator could emphasize the court of law, and also a Knight of Swords coming in like that can be looked at as legal action. So it's possible that you might be in some kind of legal proceedings to try to hammer out arrangements around custody, around financial support, things along these lines. You might have a pretty strong case on your side in this regard, and I see you kind of like, you know, putting up your putting up your hand here like, hey, you know, I got truth on my side, so you can come at me all you want. Maybe you've been dealing with somebody who's a little intractable, somebody who's been threatening, you know, and you don't need to worry about this. I feel like with the Queen of Swords coming upright like this, the way this is showing up, I feel that you've got the truth on your side. And so the burden of, needing to prove the position is more on the opposite side of that bargaining table. I really feel that. For others of you, there's somebody that is kind of like schooling you, I feel about their position in a situation. They have a certain truth and they're kind of like, maybe you're wanting to approach this person, communicate with this person. It could go either way. Either you're approaching this person or this person's approaching you. But it's sort of like you feel like you need to school this person, or they feel like they need to school you. Somebody here has the burden of truth on their side. And they are willing to entertain a communication, it looks like, but you got to come correct. It has to be matching what you know or what that person knows, or else there's not going to be a lot of forward progression in terms of communication. But there's some kind of education happening here through communication. There's some kind of working something out. It has something to do with bridging the past, with moving forward in the future and doing that in a harmonious way. It could be to create an environment of security and stability. This could potentially involve a child, a baby's mama, and some kind of financial arrangements being worked out as well. So it looks like there's some balancing happening here. And then here we do have, yes, it looks like there's some kind of new beginning in matters of the heart. All right, somebody is wanting to offer this Ace of Pentacles. They're wanting to offer a tangible new beginning. When we're looking at an Ace of Pentacles, it's a seed that's being planted for something to grow. And perhaps there was first signs of this in the spring season, since Ace of Pentacles is a spring timing card. This could also let you know whatever begins now in terms of either a love relationship that's brand new, that's just beginning, or whether it's a reconciliation in an old relationship. I could also see this as a piece of maybe your ex is coming together with somebody that you share a child with. They're coming together with another in relationship. This requires some agreements to be made, some things to be hammered out between the two of you. So sort of like a triad can work, within, the confines of those arrangements in a harmonious way. This is being done for the sake of a child, to provide a secure, stable environment. Okay, I see all these different pieces could be coming into play. But what is very clear is there's some love relationship starting here. And it looks like there's mutual affinity. This is a soulmate situation. This is a relationship that's invested in commitment. The offer that's being made here is very serious. It could be that somebody is approaching you, Cancer. They want to make you a serious offer. Maybe they weren't willing to commit in the past, and now something's changing. This person held in their feelings for a long time. Now they're coming forward. They're rushing forward. They can't hold it in any longer. They're expressing their love for you. They're expressing their commitment. And you may have some doubts about this person. It could be an earth sign energy that's approaching you. You may feel like it's a little too little, too late kind of vibes. You also may feel like this energy is a little immature. That's possible as well. But there's something about, I could really see that with this. It's sort of like they're making this offer to you, and you might look at it like, really, I'm supposed to take you seriously? Like, I think this person has had a lot of lack of follow through in the past. I feel, you might have felt in the past that this person would just kind of promise things, but they would never really deliver. And there wasn't a lot of action to back it up, to ever have it grow into the largesse, of what's promised. You see how little this pentacle looks in comparison to this Ace of Pentacles here. But there's something about, you need to be open to exploration here, because with the Ace of Pentacles, this is assured to grow. It might take time, okay? It may take time for this to grow. And maybe there's one person in this situation that's like, I want to move it faster. I want to move it faster. But there's another person here who understands that it's better to take the nice, slow, steady route to really lay down the proper foundation that a beautiful new beginning can grow upon. And actually, to be honest with you, this Ace of Pentacles You might have had some initial like hits about this coming in, or there might have been some initial communication that came in back in the springtime that sort of kicked this off. But I see that it could be clear until next spring before this comes to full fruition. I feel like you're in this process, this healing process, and there's a lot of past stuff that's being sorted through, but it looks like it leads to a beautiful new beginning. Yes, and I am kind of going toward that original story that came in for some of you. You are dealing with somebody, it's an ex, and you share a child with this person. This person is coming together in union. It looks like commitment, looks like serious commitment with another. And so now you have to learn how to operate as like an extended family, like whoever else is being pulled into the picture, you have to all be able to work with each other as a harmonious unit. And that might be a little challenging. There might be like some piece here that makes that particularly challenging, but I feel like you got what it takes, Cancer, okay? I also see where you're needing any kind of financial support, where financial support was promised to you. And it looks like it's in relation to a love relationship, all right? Coming forward very strongly. Maybe you relied on your partner for a long time to kind of help you out financially. It could be you went through a lean time financially. Maybe you were going through school, and so you weren't able to put a lot of energy into like the workforce, you know, getting an income going. Maybe your partner supported you as you started a business of your own, or while you were getting your education, or it could even be you had a baby, and so you were putting a lot of your time and your energy into taking care of the child, but now you're really wanting to generate some financial abundance for yourself. I feel like a lot of you are wanting to grow something financially for yourself. Maybe it's something you studied for, you got some education for, or maybe you're heading into a field of education or offering workshops, something along these lines. 2222 on the clock when I said that. So for those of you who are getting into any kind of field of education, or where you're working with children, I think it'll be extremely successful for you, all right? I think there's going to be a lot of movement forward with this. You have your energy coming out very strongly here, Cancer, okay? This is like, yes, you know, move forward where you feel inspired to offer something as far as education, you know, teaching the public, or where this is infused in the work you do. It seems like you're meant here to teach people something. I feel that. You have a very strong gift too for like public speaking, all right? So you might be getting into something where you are asked to bring your voice forward. You might be looking to become some kind of teacher or pass something on to others, some kind of education, something that's maybe even focused on personal growth. You could be getting into the counseling field. Maybe you're getting into becoming a marriage counselor or doing some kind of work like this. But I see you moving forward, all right? And I see it provides a brand new financial beginning, and it's going to be very successful for you. So those of you who are heading into a direction where you're creating a business path of your own, you're getting into entrepreneurship, this is going to be extremely successful for you. You're heading into a time of financial prosperity. I also see your health is really going to be doing well. You're probably making some health changes at this time, and it could be hormonally. I don't know why I got that. You might want to focus on getting some high quality EFAs, and I got borage oil and evening primrose oil coming in specifically for you. That's for somebody, if you've been having kind of like hormonal issues, maybe you had a baby and things have just kind of felt a little off hormonally since then, or it could be you're trying to conceive. I could see it that way as well. Maybe you had some kind of operation. It could be maybe you dealt with like, this is very specific for somebody, okay? But some of you may have been dealing with fertility issues. Maybe you discovered that you had fibroids. You might deal with endometriosis, something like this, PCOS, okay? But I see like maybe there's some kind of surgery you had done. Maybe you had like a DNC done, something along these lines. I see that where you did take that action, it's going to be successful. I do see that you'll conceive, okay? That will turn out very well for you. Yeah, some of you might have taken some kind of action in terms of some kind of medical support, maybe even an alternative health approach as well with something you were dealing with. Maybe you were told that you would have to have a surgery to deal with a particular health challenge. And you've gotten into herbal medicine, you've gotten into holistic medicine. You might even be currently getting an education in alternative health, herbal medicine, you know, the holistic healing arts, because you were inspired by your own healing journey. And this becomes very successful for you. You move forward, like you're meant to move forward and share something on this level. Maybe you're supposed to educate people about alternative healing methods, but it's through your own healing process. Ted just said yes, something you learned through your own practice and your own journey that actually is like the making of your new career direction. And where you have been trying to heal some kind of major health issue, I see that, you know, you're going to come into this place of completing that old cycle. You're going to be able to bring things back into balance. I do see health. I do see renewal on this level. It looks really good. For those of you that are ironing out some kind of like financial arrangements in relation to the end of a marriage or in relation to custody or child support, things along these lines, or where you're looking for funding for education that you need or startup capital to start your business. Okay, so I think for all of you, obviously we're speaking to a collective, so there's a wide variety of ways that this could play out, and I'm just bringing in all the messages as they come in. I feel like where you're in need of that capital, where you're in need of that money, where you're in need of that contract, where you're in need of that job, you know, whatever this is, the platform, it's something material. It's something that you can, like, you know, see, feel, touch. It's something tangible, and it really has tones of like financial security, solvency behind it. It's in some way connected to your financial security. It allows you to move forward. Okay, it comes through. You may be wondering, is this going to come in? I think you've been waiting a while for it to come in. Maybe you had some problems with this held back. It was because you were trying to control things too much. You discovered as you kind of like pulled back and sort of let mediation take over in this situation, or just trusted, you know, that as things just, you know, unfolded, that you would have the right recourse revealed to you. I think this was wise, where you kind of pulled back your energy a little bit and stopped trying to force things into resolution. I think you're finally seeing that things are moving forward. This frustrating cycle where you've been dealing with a lot of stubborn people with intractable positions, and it's been nothing but headbutting, not being able to get on the same page, it's coming to a successful conclusion. There's success on the other side of this. There's a lot of karma that's being cleared up right now. Okay, you're really closing a very important karmic cycle. These are some players that could be factoring into your situation. We got Leo. So again, if you have a birthday where you fall on the cusp between Cancer, Leo, this message is super, super strong for you, okay? But it's possible you could be dealing with a Leo, you could be dealing with a Taurus, a Scorpio, an Aquarius. Somebody has one of these signs strongly aspected in their chart. Recently for me in my other tarot deck, and it's coming in now, so it's significant, I saw this image that really reminded me of a Ophiuchus, and Ophiuchus is the 13th sign of the zodiac. Back when we used to go by the 13 moon lunar cycle to map out our year, which is actually more the natural order of things. And Ophiuchus falls somewhere between the energies of Scorpio and Sagittarius. So it's considered Sagittarians born November 30th through December 18th falls into the sign of Ophiuchus. And this is reminding me of that because it's reminding me almost of the Ouroboros, okay? It's not, it's a victory wreath. But the imagery is coming through because it almost looks like scales here, and it looks like the serpent eating itself. So I feel like maybe there was something that you needed to digest possibly as well with an Ophiuchus, or maybe just at that time of year that goes back to that point in the calendar. You know, maybe there was something that was really coming to a head for you back at that time, like back at the end of November, beginning of December, like right around the holiday season last year. It's finally coming to a place of completion now. Everything is being balanced out. And there's something here that like brings you into alignment with another. I don't think that you're the only one taking action here. There's two batons here. And we see there's a two of cups here. So whatever is closing now brings you into alignment with another. And this is definitely a love story here. So there's this piece about something from your past really had to be released. And it's almost like you had to step into this position of really focusing on your healing work and valuing yourself, and maybe even in some cases, restoring a sense of self-esteem, you know. And I feel like you focused a lot on your personal growth and you really invested in yourself. You took time to heal yourself and build yourself back up from whatever loss you experienced. And it's benefiting you in so many ways. And where you were dealing with difficult people, where you all were just like butting heads, there's something that's being worked out here, and it's coming to a successful conclusion. So that's really positive. You know, you have a lot to feel good about. One final pass here. Any other further guidance you want to give to Cancer about what is coming in for them in eclipse season? Predictions in this eclipse season about what they can look forward to. All right, we had a big chunk come out there. Everything's coming out in big chunks for you. And I sort of like feel like that's the way it's been. It's like, okay, you get through this hurdle, here you go, boom. here's a whole other mess to clean up. And maybe you felt like that. Maybe you've had to have a lot of endurance. I think it's been really intense for you. I think you've been worried a lot. You probably have been dealing with some sleepless nights, some stress. I do pick up this piece that whatever you're processing, whatever you're integrating, it has its roots in the past. So there could be a fair amount of trauma connected to it. I don't know why I'm picking this up, but I feel like you've played a lot of it out in your dream life. Like your dream life has been very active. You might even be having like some repressed memories come up. But I feel like you're working through this, okay? And where you were really stressed out, like, are things going to work out? Am I going to get to the other side of this? Because I think you just haven't been able to make things work. I think you've been dealing with people who have made things unnecessarily difficult. I really feel that. And I feel that this has been such a source of stress and aggravation for you. I also think maybe you went through something where you were really worried about your own financial security. It could be that you were worried about the stability of your job, or maybe you lost a job, or maybe you were put on some kind of like review process at your job, or you've been seeing people getting laid off and you've just been super concerned about your financial well-being, your financial future, and also getting, it looks like 3 people to work together. I really see that. Remember that message came in, like, you might be trying to work things out between more than one person. It's like there's a love relationship at the heart of this, okay? And you have to pick what side you're on in this situation. It's either you've moved on with another, but there's still this person you used to be connected to that you have to integrate in this. And in some way, it's a little complicated. For some of you, it could be like the in-law, you know, it could be the mother, it could be the father, you know, and you're trying to, like, some way, shape, or form, there's a third party element here, and you all have to work together. This has to be worked out. Like, there's something that needs to happen here so everybody can work together, and this can actually be something that creates a sense of stability. Stability is very front and center. It's sort of like people have to put their own BS aside and do what's right for the best in this situation of all parties involved. And for some of you, it's the best for a child involved. And this is like of key importance, very significant. Yeah, I could also see this as, you know, if there was any kind of like third party situation where somebody had an affair, there could be a love child as a result of that situation, and this could be what's causing a lot of problems as well. Because how do you integrate that? You know, if you stepped out on your partner, This could cause a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, you know. And I mean, child is really coming through strongly for a lot of you. It's not for all of you, okay? But it is a theme that's coming strongly forward for somebody. So I need to speak to it. For some of you, this is just the worry, the stress, the strain. It's like, I found my person. I'm in love with this person. We both want a child. Maybe you're a little bit older. Maybe you're worried about being able to conceive. You might have dealt with some kind of fertility issues. This has been a problem. But I think there's been some kind of surgical procedure that was presented or put on the table. Some of you went that route. It was successful. Others of you have explored some kind of alternative route. You're working on boosting your fertility. You're working at it. You're trying to make it happen. Maybe it's been hard to get, a pregnancy to really take hold. But I see you getting through it. And a lot of it has to do with, for those of you that is your story that you're trying to conceive. Relax, okay? Relax. Go out, get in the sun, have some fun, just relax and look those sunflowers back there. Another message of please get in your mono unsaturated fats. It's really about creating the ideal environment for a baby to take up their little nesting space until they're ready to come into your world, all right? But for those who've been trying, you're going to be successful with that, all right? And those who don't want that, make sure you're using protection, because I see that it could happen, because I see that there's some of you like, I don't need another baby. I don't need another baby, okay? I got enough on my hands. Some of you already got a few kids at home. You're like, I don't know, I do not need another one. If that's the case, make sure you're doing what you have to do, okay, to protect yourself so you don't have any unwelcome surprises, okay? But where you've been wondering, okay, that story aside, all right, just in general, where you've been trying to work things out, where you've been trying to move forward, where you've been trying to establish some kind of financial stability for yourself, and you've been stressed out, you faced challenges in the work arena, or you faced challenges with hammering out some kind of, parameters around legal agreements that involve holding up your funds. I see where you've been wondering, is there going to be growth? Is there going to be progress? Is this thing going to come in alignment? Absolutely, with the justice right there. So that confirms the message that I got in earlier in association with the Libra, that you might be dealing with some kind of legal situation. I also feel like you might be balancing something out karmically with a Libra. This coming in very strongly. But with justice here, justice in the upright, this is a good thing. Like I said, you're closing up a karmic cycle, all right? Very significant. I feel like you're going to start to see this energy come in once we hit that Aries point on July 18th with that Leo new moon. Leo season, you're really going to start to see things move forward out of a stalemate position where maybe what was being offered in a financial arrangement or whatever was being proposed in terms of some kind of job offer or career opportunity coming through that you felt just wasn't good enough and you weren't wanting to settle. You stuck to your guns. You know what you want to create for yourself. You're holding out for that big moment when you get to be like in this place of like celebration. You don't want to just accept the first offer that comes your way. You holding out for what you really want is the right thing. I do see justice in your favor. There is a way forward. Those of you who have been out of work, you're going to get a new job, okay? You're going to be able to hammer out an agreement that feels fair to you. There is financial growth in this situation. It will require work. For some of you, it also may require you to learn a new skill or get some kind of like some kind of study, I don't feel like it has to be anything major with the Page of Pentacles, but you might need to, do some little certification course, like, you might need to do like a food handler certificate, something along those lines. Like if you're getting into catering, I don't know why that's coming through. But whatever this is that's happening, whatever agreements are being reached that obviously lands you in this position of feeling pretty darn good about yourself, all right? I think you're going to be able to actually treat yourself You might not have been able to treat yourself for a while. You might have had to just kind of like make do. And that might have been because you were more financially dependent on another rather than really generating your own financial abundance. I see that shifting, okay? You're really landing yourself in a very strong position. Your growth is evident. You're feeling good. You're in a place of healing. You're starting to really tap into that flow of abundance. You're seeing financial growth. You're having that stability you want. And this is really going to have you looking at life in a new way. I see you setting your sights on the horizon and just sort of dreaming up where you want to go, what you want to do next. And I think for a lot of you, this is going to involve travel and relocation. Okay, I see you like going on a trip that kind of like changes your life. You want to move forward to a lighter, brighter side of life. You're tired of everything from the past that's been like nipping at your heels. You want brand new. And I really feel like you're recovering that spirit that's been absent for a while, just your spirit of adventure and actually feeling excited about possibilities for what you could do, where you could go, you know, what your life could be. I do see you, you know, striking out and maybe taking a risk that some people might think is a little foolish, but I feel like you know what you're doing. You're following your heart, and I think it turns out beautifully for you. It turns out really well for you. Let's do another deck energy and see what we get there, and then I'll get you an overarching theme, and I think this looks pretty complete. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you might have some people who oppose the direction you want to head in. You might have to really stand up for yourself, but I think it took you a while to arrive at this position. You need to stick to your guns, stick to what you know is right for you. Look at that. Your energy, very strongly. You are in your energy. You're trusting your intuition. You know what's right for you. You know what you're nurturing in your life. And you do need to stick to your guns and really stand up for what's right for you and what's your truth. Clearly that came through. Victory will be on your side for sure. I'm just so curious what's behind this Queen of Cups. I got to see. Yes, you're going to find the balance, okay, with the Temperance card here. Beautiful. You got the angels on your side. Angels in the outfield. They're looking out for you as you're going towards your field of dreams, all right? You could also be dealing with a Sagittarius, all right? I think you're going to find the balance with this person. There also could be some kind of like addiction or something you've had to overcome in this situation. Maybe you had to kind of give somebody tough love. That was really hard. This could be somebody that maybe had a drinking problem, you know, or somebody had to give you tough love. Either way, I feel like this person is, they're finding their balance. They're getting some help, or you're checking into recovery. You know, it could work both ways, but I feel there's a big transformational healing process happening here. And somebody is getting grounded, you know, they're getting grounded, and they're also learning how to get in touch with their feelings and express their feelings in healthier, more balanced ways. And I think this is really bridging a lot of gaps. And look at this. Now you got these cups. These cups are starting to pour into one another. And maybe this is what's needed for balance in this situation. Maybe somebody did most of the emotional expression in this connection, most of the caretaking in this connection. And certainly, oh, I got a lot of sentience around this. Certainly, if you dealt with anybody who had any kind of addiction or even like any kind of like mental imbalance, and they weren't getting the support they needed, if that's a lot to take on, it can throw a lot of things out of balance. You can end up really depleted. I think that you laid down some boundaries with this person in that case. And in some cases, you put down boundaries with yourself. You're like, I need to block out time for myself. I need all of you to give me the space I need because I need to dive deep. I need some healing here, okay? So for those of you who have been taking those actions in your life, congratulations. You know, it takes a lot of strength and courage to recognize when you need some support and also to do what's necessary to make it possible for you to get the help you need and to make it a priority. Whatever is going on here, it's a story of victory because there is a balance that comes about where you learn how to pour into each other. And I do feel like this is what was out of balance in this love relationship before, is one person was doing all the caretaking in the relationship. One person just wanted somebody else to heal so bad that they actually disempowered that person. You know, they let that person stay in a place of dependency. This can be a situation where the relationship was very codependent, but there's something that's balancing out here. There's a healing that happens. There's a transformation that's happening here. And there's a lot of spiritual support around this too. A lot of spiritual support around this. It's bringing two people together again, you know. I think it's been rough, but I see you kind of like, you know, we made it. We made it. And there is no more of this imbalance. You notice how these cups here and the Two of Cups are on the same level, okay? So it looks like something gets balanced out here, and what's on the other side. And here they come, you know. You could very well be dealing with a Sagittarius. You could be dealing with a fire sign energy. You also got, you know, Leo energy come up. This is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is moving forward with passion and purpose, okay? So where things were held up, I think you know where you're going, okay? Yeah, you got somebody coming toward, yeah. Yeah, you got somebody coming towards you, okay? It's really wild. I'm going to go ahead and bring this in. We're going to kind of like leave you off as far as the tarot is concerned with a little bit of this cliffhanger energy. It feels appropriate. It's just sort of like the way your predictions are rolling out. But I do see that you have somebody moving towards you with passion and purpose. I think this person feels a lot of chemistry with you. They might really put on the heat. They are, somebody has a strong fire sign placement, I take. You know, they want to get things cooking with you, you know. I think you feel very guarded against this energy because you have a past history with this person. You feel defensive. You feel like you've been through a lot with this person. So I think when this person approaches you, you're really going to be kind of like, you got your guard up. But I do think this is like something from the past that's coming back around. There is a judgment that's being kind of sounded here on this situation. And for some of you with the Magician energy that came in, also with the Judgment, this can be a sign of you're healing something with a past love. And you might be reprising this connection and deciding to give it another shot. You know, yeah, you've been through a lot with each other. You've been through a lot with each other. But there's something here where you ain't done with it yet, you know, whether that ends up being positive for you or negative in the final outcome. It's clearly a case of this is a soulmate and there's something that still needs to be done here. It's definitely somebody you were with in your past because you already had the Queen of Swords come in and here is the King of Swords. So there's a past connection here and there's the Strength card signifying Leo, right? And we got the Empress who tames the lion here, who tames that Leo lion on this Strength card. Empress is associated with the signs of Taurus and Libra. So Libra's been really strong in your reading. I don't know if there's like a Libra on the periphery of this situation. There may be something you need to work out with a Libra if that's the case, especially if you're a Cancer born on that Leo cusp. And there is also a masculine figure here now too that is the counterpart to that air energy. So you do have air energy factoring pretty strongly in your read too. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, okay? There's some past relationship here that is being alchemized, all right? There's some healing happening. And I do feel there's a need for 3 people to like do some kind of healing, coming on the same page with each other, balancing things out. But the beauty of the Strength card is whatever the challenge is, as long as people remember that sometimes when people act out of aggression, what that's coming from is a defensiveness and a fear, all right? And if there can be compassion in this situation as you move through challenges, you're going to have nothing but success. You all will be able to bring this into balance. Look at that infinity symbol over the Empress's head, right? So this is having what it takes to rise to the challenge and overcome difficulties. I'm going to pull out one of these Halloween oracle cards for you. That's what I feel drawn to pull out. I feel like fall season will be important for you, Cancer. Okay, so let's get an overarching theme for Cancer and just what eclipse season predictions are coming in for the Cancer collective. What will they see unfold when they look back at this cycle, once they hit that fall season, what will be kind of like the overarching theme to the experiences that they've had, and the theme that will cast over their way forward in the future. Give us some guidance for the Cancer collective spirit. Ooh, I like this spider. Community and web weaving. So this is about getting creative. This is about making new connections. This is about creating a new way forward. Spider medicine is actually a really beautiful medicine. It's all about weaving those threads of connectivity. So I feel like you all are going to be working through something in a community capacity. So you might be doing this like in some kind of support group. You might be doing this in some kind of therapeutic setting. There might be a mediator involved. You could be doing something online. But whatever you're working on, it's bringing people together. It's more than just you. It's bigger than you. For those of you who are moving into some position of stepping into a teaching role or moving into a direction with your career where you're wanting to share something that you've learned through your own healing process, or you're getting into some kind of alternative health or course creation, something along these lines, you may be doing some work online, and it really involves you bringing people together. Also web weaving, connecting. So do put yourself out there, make connections. I see you're really going to build a sense of community around what you're bringing in for your future. You're going to feel a lot of community support for this. And I also think you're going to make a lot of connections that lead to a lot of success. And I just noticed this about this card. Look at all these like little points of light. And it reminds me of when, there's those gatherings where everybody has a candle, and it starts with one person lights their flame, and then they use their flame to light the candle of the person next to them, and until you all have this circle of light that you're holding together. And there's something about this, like, I think that you're coming together to call forward the light in a situation that maybe at times has felt very sticky, maybe at times has felt very confusing, maybe at times has felt very binding, maybe it's felt like it's held you back or kept you entangled and kept you stuck and confused. But there's some kind of light that's filtering into this situation. There's some kind of light that comes through, and there's some kind of weaving of a new web of connectivity where it's more about how can we really communicate with each other and bring things together in a positive way. And it's like people are waking up in this situation. They don't want to stay in this place of confusion anymore, feeling stuck. They're ready to kind of like, let's support each other in getting to the other side of this and shining a light forward for all of us so we can all feel more hopeful about how we're moving forward in the future. I also see you're being really creative, which is so cool, just diving into your creativity. I think that whatever you're doing with your career, it's bringing you a lot of joy. And look at that, joy, rejoicing in the present. So this is all about that fall season. Again, I feel like fall for you is the time that it all comes together. And whatever you've released and whatever you had to let go of, I think you feel so much freedom in this and so much liberation in this. It's like it pours all the light back into your life. And you realize that even the losses, even the endings, they bring so much beauty into our world when we don't resist them. There's some kind of beautiful growth that comes out of this for you. And for you, I feel very strongly it's some kind of work you're doing that rises up out of this time, that's inspired by what you've gone through. And it just has you stepping into a really happy cycle in your life. I mean, you had the sun. So this is a time of building joy in your life. You're moving out of the heaviness of the past, and you're ready to shed what no longer serves you. And you realize even in the letting go, there's a beauty in the letting go. There's such a sweetness when you're finally released from the struggle. And I just see you glowing up so much. And it looks so beautiful for you. And I'm so happy for you. And I really support you and cheer you on in doing that work, because it takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of courage. But the reward the reward that comes through the wound when we're willing to hold space for the pain and be present for it and do that work, indescribable, indescribable, unforgettable. And that is you. Unforgettable. Bloom, baby, bloom.